This past weekend, I shot a classifier stage at my local USPSA match called the Thrill of the Bill Drill. 6 rounds on each target, 3 different targets, all with their own procedure. I finished with a total of 17 A's and 1 C that got me 81.44%, and I placed 14th in my division. By almost any measure, that's the best classifier result I've ever shot. But here's what I keep thinking about, and it's not the C. The instinct in this community, and honestly most skill-based training, is to chase the mistake. Find the bad shot, diagnose it, fix it, and then move on. And that's not the wrong impulse, but I think it's incomplete. Because when I look at that stage result, the 1C already makes sense. I shot it one-handed, and I almost never train one-handed. That's not a mystery. That's a gap that I already knew was there. But 17 A's at an acceptable speed, that's important data too. So that's what this video is about. Not really failure analysis, but just understanding what's already working and building from there.
So I'm back at the range. I shot a match last week. I did better than I ever have at any other USPSA match. A couple of things happened. A lot of things went good. Some things went bad. And today, the goal of the range day is to maximize all the things that went well. So instead of focusing on the deficiencies, which is what a lot of us tend to do, you know, you shoot a string of fire, you see 1 or 2 flyers, and you ask yourself what went wrong with those 2 flyers. And while that's not completely incorrect, I think the more useful way of going about improving yourself is to focus on all the things that did go right, all the different little nuances that contributed to the positive performance. So we're going to try to use that today. Success has conditions just as much as failures. So what produced all those A's rather than what produced that 1 C that I missed on the last target? I never shoot one-handed. I do it for fun every once in a while, but I never actually try to perform one-handed shooting. So I'm going to try to figure out exactly what I'm doing correctly with my two-handed shooting and seeing what translates over to one-handed shooting. That could be a bunch of different things. Visual processing, grip pressures are obviously going to be different. Stance, positioning, all that's going to be useful information to move towards this different deficit in my game. That being said, let's set the range up and get to shooting, see what happens. I'm going to have the same range setup. So just 3 targets next to each other at 7 yards. We're going to run the Thrill of the Bill Drill stage, kind of identify what's working, what's not working. We're going to go set them up down range. So like I said in the intro, the point of this is not to figure out exactly what went wrong with the 1 C that I got, but to find out what went right with all the A's and the speed and try to do more of that. The idea is to push the ceiling up as much as we can get it. And hopefully my current ceiling becomes the floor for my future performances. Now, this wasn't like a generational run. It was about a B-class level run, but I'm a mid-C level shooter in most cases. So something definitely went right for me to get the points that I did. Okay, Bill Drill. And I did that wrong. I'm supposed to have my hands above my shoulders. So let's run that back. Not quite cold. This time my hands are going to be above the shoulders. Okay, this one's split, so 3, reload, 3. That was interesting. I had the perfect amount of ammo in that first mag. Okay, this one is going to be 3, reload, 1 hand, 3. I messed up not having my hands above my shoulders. The second one felt okay. Everything, the reload was solid. Even though I got a slide lock, it didn't trip me up at all. And then on the one-handed target, I lost my dot and decided to just rip it anyway, which I'm not mad at. I felt like my grip was good. I felt stable. I could see where I wanted the bullets to go, but yeah, I didn't see the dot. I didn't get a confirmation of the dot, and I paid for it. So let's look at these targets real quick. These targets are pretty used up, and I've been using the paper tape, so it kind of makes it a little harder to see exactly where the A's are, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 C's on that one. That was the one-handed. All 6 in the A for the reload. And then I must have shot off a paster that had 2 of them, because there's 7 rounds on there. That's not right. But I know for sure when I did do it correctly, I dropped that 1 C. So I found out there's a term for this in performance science called positive deviance. The idea is to not be caught up in everything that goes wrong and to use that. Yes, you should use your mistakes as data, but that's not the only data that's out there. You know, you got a lot more data from all the things you did right than you would have gotten for the few times that you got something wrong. So obviously I threw 2 C's on my single-handed shot, and that has a lot to do with the fact that I just don't train single-handed a lot. And then I dropped the C over here on my first my first correct string of fire. You know, it could be a lot of different things, honestly. I could have lost visual focus. I could have had a little inconsistent grip pressure. It could have been a million different things. Not quite a million. It could have been a lot of different things, but trying to figure out exactly what specific detail I got wrong, the plan is to notice that and then move on. So I'm going to paste all these targets up and we're just going to run through it again. The act of shooting is holding focus on a lot of different things at once. My grip is pretty good. My reloads are also pretty good. I spend a lot of time dry firing those. So those should be solid. My breakdown comes in the visual processing. So making sure my focus is not quite on the dot and more on the target itself.
Real quick, guys, I gotta mention my company shooter's preference. Ammo sacks like the one you see here are available now, along with a bunch of other handmade gear. Go check it out. It's the best way to support the channel, and let's get back to the video.
6 rounds, target focus, proper mindset. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm already noticing a lot better accuracy and a much tighter group when I actually picked one of the pasters out there to focus on rather than just focusing on the whole target itself. So of course, aim small, miss small, right? That went well. That was a 2.69. Okay, this one's split with a reload in the middle. Same thing. Lot tighter groups there. Time 4:36. Okay, that one felt good. This one is going to be one-handed. .75. Okay. So again, I lost the dot a little bit there on the second shot when I was firing one-handed, and it took me a little bit to get the dot back in the place I wanted to shoot it. I'm also messing with my stance a little bit because I never shoot one-handed. In the match, I just dropped the hand and continued to fire in my same stance that I would, but I think I changed my stance on that one to having my right foot forward as I was shooting one-handed, and I feel a little more stable with my right foot forward when I'm shooting one-handed. As long as it doesn't take up too much time, it might be something to do while I'm reloading. So we'll keep working on this. I'm going to paste the targets. So on that last set of drills, I got about the same accuracy as I got at the match. So all A's except for 1C on the one-handed target. My deficit is definitely in the vision. It's definitely about making sure that I'm picking as small as possible area on the target and continuing to keep my focus on that small area. So I'm going to go through one more rep of this, and then I think I'm going to break down into, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time shooting single-handed, maybe work on doubles, but I want to run through this drill one more time now that I'm warmed up a little bit and see if I can push the pace as much as possible. A little hesitancy there. After the first shot, I felt like I didn't quite have the grip that I wanted. So I adjusted in between the first and second shot. Accuracy was fine, all A's. But grip consistency fell behind a little bit there. That was 287. .494. Those are all A's as well. Interesting. Same deal. 5 A's, 1 C. I was noticing a little bit more of my dot dancing left and right. But as I continued firing, that kind of tightened up a bit. So, some more data for us. Let's paste them. No timer. I'm just going to try to feel what's going on in my mind, in my vision, in my grip, stance, all that stuff. Let's do a little bit of diagnosis. You know, most of those were good. I think I'm going to try to keep my vision high, a little bit higher in the A zone, upper A zone. Start neutral stance, draw, and then go to my one-handed stance. Yeah, okay. So the higher I drove my vision, the better the accuracy was. When I was looking at the holes that I was producing, it kept dragging my shots down to be around those first couple hits. So I think ignoring the previous shots and just focusing on the shot in the moment is something that I'm going to need to work on. Oh, also, I'm noticing this head shift over to my right leg. I don't want to do. Because when I throw my head off alignment, I have to refine the dot. So I'm going to try to keep my head in alignment, bring the dot to my eyes rather than my eyes to the dot. Let's get another couple. I think I only have like 4 rounds in this one. Okay, that was good. The last shot, I swung right. I'm doing this thing again. Okay, much better. Much better. I still did have 2 flyers off to the left, but I immediately corrected the vision and went right back to the center. I was focusing on a little paster in the upper A zone, and right when I did that, I actually shot through that paster. So I was focusing right here. I think my first 2 were these guys. It's tough to say, actually. But I know for sure I shot one of these two C's on the second rep, on the second set of doubles, and then realized my eyes were over here, brought my eyes back here, and then the next set of doubles was right there. So starting to get a little better at it. When things are going right, I'm focusing on a small spot in the target. I'm not letting my focus drift to the shots that I've already taken, and I have a consistent grip pressure. So with those lessons, I'm going to go through this drill again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm not going to do any analysis. I'm just going to shoot it, record the time, and then we'll talk about it afterward. .260. Forgot to record my time for the middle one, but 5.88. Okay, let's get a time on this one. Still all A's. Cool. And that was 4.88. First bill drill, pretty good. Not too mad about it. Second one I had to reshoot a couple of times, but everything's in the A. So be it. And my one-handed shots, again, 1C off to the left. So, still gonna work on it. And matter of fact, I might just run it again. Sun finally came out, so let's give it another run. .297. .516. .743. So I had some flubs there, and the time was not the best. But everything's in the A. So that's a W, as far as I'm concerned. Close to a C on that guy, but all A's. Oh, that was a C. That was too, yeah, that was too high. It's hard to tell because I taped over the line, but pretty sure that was a C. And that one was all A's. Okay, cool. Yeah, the theme of today was really about positive deviance. Trying to eliminate distractions, especially negative distractions, and just focus on what makes good, acceptable hits. Okay, so that was today's training session. The whole goal with today was to take my performance at my last match and use it as data to just get better at shooting, right? I don't consider myself to be primarily a competition shooter. Obviously, I mean, look at my gear. I'm definitely not set up to be one of those high-speed, top-level shooter guys. But shooting is very important to me. Having exceptional performances is definitely something I want to strive for. So coming out to the range, I definitely learned a lot about the way I shoot one-handed, and I absolutely need to spend more time working on that. I enjoy this as a sport, even though, it is, I do try to take it seriously as a form of self-defense and a form of, self-improvement. So trying to drill down into those intricate details and the mindset, the thought process that goes into this is, it's one of my favorite things to do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching the process. If you guys are working on something similar, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I'm going to try to continue these lessons, take them back out to my next match, and see if we can get a little better performance. Today, I really hoped that I could get a better score than I did in the match. But that didn't shake out. Each rep that I did, something different went wrong, which means I have a lot of different things to work on, which is awesome. That's what I'm here for. Every time I come out to the range, I try to have some sort of process, but not every time you go to the range is going to be better than the previous time. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. This one was a little bit in the middle, but I do feel like my shooting ability increased just a little bit because my awareness of what was going on increased a little bit. You know, you show up to a match and you have to shoot in a way that you've never shot before. It's going to be all instinct. You know, I was entirely relying on my instinct, and it was good enough to get me, you know, a B-class performance. I kind of figured out where the floor was. Hopefully I can push the ceiling up a little bit more, and slowly we can make progress. Yeah, today was a lot of fun. I think I got a lot done. I just shot maybe 100, 150 rounds, not a ton. I still got a lot of stuff to do today, but I was able to get out here early. Glad I didn't get rained on. The sun's finally starting to come out, but I'm running out of ammo and running out of time, so I'm going to get out of here, clean the range up. If you guys do shoot on public land, just a little PSA, bring a trash bag with you. Take a little bit of trash home. It's deeply appreciated for those of us who come out here and shoot not at trash and not blasting apart junk. It's really cool to have a nice clean range that, you know, the hippies all enjoy, the Forest Service enjoys, and us, the public, enjoy. Please clean up after yourselves, and maybe clean up after the people that were here before you. They're not going to do it, so we all got to step up in some way. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming back to my channel again. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the links in the description. I have my store, Shooter's Preference. I make a bunch of stuff. Maybe there's something in there that would interest you guys. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like. Those things are all very much appreciated. And I appreciate you guys for just watching, sticking it through to the end of the video. Let's get out of here. We'll catch you guys in the next one.